You know what? It has actually been a little while since I had a rant. Go on then. I've made no bones about it. It's not a secret that I consider myself still quite a big ARPG noob. I mean, okay, what have I really done when it comes to the genre? Gone all the way through Diablo 4's campaign, played Diablo 4's endgame, played a little bit of Last Epoch, played a bit of Grim Dawn, and played some Path of Exile. That's about as far as my ARPG The Sun's coming out, isn't it? God damn it. That's about as far as my ARPG knowledge goes, honestly. And I'm excited for PoE 2. Now, I preface this with the fact that I know I don't know a lot about the genre. And there's going to be some people who will tell me that there are an endless amount of reasons as to why what I'm saying can't be done. I get that, and yet, here we are. I've considered Path of Exile a game that I actually do like for quite a while, even though, if I'm being completely honest about it, I've not even completed the campaign. I always kind of get to a point with Path of Exile where I'm playing it and enjoying it, and then, I don't know, shit happens, and I just don't go back to it. I've restarted a number of times in the campaign now, but I had the intention recently of being like, I'm going to do it. I am going to finish at minimum the campaign, play endgame, because I like playing Path of Exile. That's the stupidest thing about it. A lot of people said to me, why don't you just play Path of Exile 2? Well, I'm going to play Path of Exile 2, but I've seen that a lot of people are saying it's having problems right now. It seems to be having issues. I don't really want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with all the early access crap. They're changing the game. You bastard. I don't want to have to deal with all of the early access guff. You know, the ever-changing state of the game, the fact that rebalancing is constantly going to be happening, the fact that things are going to be added bit by bit. I just want to play the game when the game comes out. So, when PoE 2 does actually fully release, I'm going to be there day one, 100%. But right now, I don't want to play Path of Exile 2 until it's ready. At least what I consider ready. The thing is, I don't mind that. I don't mind waiting for PoE 2 because I've still got PoE 1. And my idea was, well, why not play it on stream? Because I've got XCOM, which I'm playing and enjoying. I'm coming back to RoboCop to play through more of that, and I thought, you know what, Path of Exile will fit nicely in there as well, as just another game I can play on stream. So, there I am. I'm genuinely wanting to play Path of Exile. I'm in the mood for it. I've got that itch back. So, I start playing Path of Exile, and it's not very long until, in the way, like, I can full screen the game. Whoa, what the fuck? Oh, we've lost connection to the game. Brilliant. Okay. I was kind of messing around with the layout of the stream a little bit. So, maybe that one was on me. Alright. I'll give you a freebie, Path of Exile. That was maybe on me. Let's just, you know, carry on. So I was like, okay, whatever. Let's try again. Why is my stash not working? Why is my stash not working? That's why. Fuck. That's why my stash isn't working. Yeah, it wasn't happening on this stream. I didn't know whether this was a bad night. I didn't know whether or not I just caught the Path of Exile gods on a particularly cranky afternoon. I don't know what it was, but I could not play the game without it kicking up a fuss and kicking me out. So I gave up for that stream. I said, you know what? Leave it. Leave it. Bad night. Annoying, but we'll try again. And I did. I tried again the next day. Great, so I'm going to try and go around the outside and avoid her. Oh, Path of Exile, what are you doing? What is wrong with this game right now? And even that wasn't enough, because I thought, you know what? I'm a persistent bastard. I'm going to give it one more shot. Game. Thank you, game. No. It's going to disconnect. It won't let me waypoint. It's going to disconnect again. Yep. Alright. Fuck this, I'm done. I can't stream that. It's too unreliable. It's annoying to me, it's annoying to the viewers. It's not like it's a new game, so people want to see me plugging on and keep persisting at it. If the game's just not working right, then I'm sorry. I can't do it. And it reached this point where I'm sat there, I'm streaming the game, and I'm only in the campaign, and it hit me. For the love of God, why is it that at this point, a game that is this old can't have, at the very minimum, an offline mode so we can play through the campaign, and maybe some of like the default end game? I get the argument that PoE and other games like it need to be online for the season updates, for the content to drop, get all that. Okay, I don't think it's necessarily as necessary as some people say it is. But okay, I'll hold my hands up and say that I don't necessarily understand the genre as well as other people. Maybe there are reasons that I'm not thinking of that for that to be permitted, there are constant needs for it to be online. Okay, fine, whatever. But there is also a league. I'm going to call it a league. I don't know if that's the right thing to call it. But there is a version, let's say, of the game that you can play where it is just standard. It hasn't got the league mechanics, it hasn't got the latest stuff, and it is just the default Path of Exile gameplay. Whatever that means in 2025, I don't know. Why can we not at least have that version in an offline mode as well? Why can we not now have that? The game has been out for so long. I see no reason why we can't just have at least that offline. Because then, if that at least was offline, you know what? I could stream it. I could stream it for everyone without the worry of the game just crapping out and constantly throwing me off. And it's not about me streaming it, it's about enjoyment. It's just not something I should have to deal with when I want to kick back and chill out and enjoy a game. It's not something I want to have to see. Once every now and then, if something goes a bit wrong, alright, fine, you forgive that. But this is obviously an issue with the game that is persisting. I don't know why this is happening now. My guess is that GGG, in all fairness, totally understandable, are putting most of their focus on PoE 2. That game's in early access, they're making that game, they're developing that game, whatever. That's getting the focus, totally get that. I think that's pretty fair. But then that gives me even more of a reason to say, then give us an offline mode, because if something goes wrong with Path of Exile, you might not be able to get back to it straight away, and it's just going to be left in a bit of a state. So, at least at the time of recording this, I don't feel like I can really play Path of Exile. Definitely can't stream it, because it's just going to keep disconnecting. You guys can fill me in on this, because I don't know if I'm right or wrong or what. But I do remember hearing a little while ago that you could take the Path of Exile stuff that you'd unlocked and bought, and you could move it over to Path of Exile 2, which is it's great, right? But also, on top of that, it has me wondering, well, does that mean then that Path of Exile 1 and 2 are basically sharing the same servers? They're sharing the same real estate. And so that maybe Path of Exile 2 is getting priority when there's not much server room, which kind of makes sense. In fairness, it's the newer game, it's the hot thing, it's what people really want to play. That's going to get priority. I get that. But they come back round to it again. Then why can't we have just an offline version of Path of Exile where we can play through the campaign, we can mess around, we can play some of the standard end game, whatever the fuck that means, and we can at least have the game that is there installed on our system. Because that's the thing with Path of Exile. If the servers go offline, you can't even log in. You are completely buggered. And I think it's time. I'm sorry. I am really curious to know what other people think about this. I know there's going to be a lot of people who will probably say, who cares? Okay, I care. The people who were there on the stream that day, they care. Maybe other people who want to try out Path of Exile for the first time still, because the name Path of Exile is still out there. You know, people might want to try out PoE first. They might want to try the game out because, you know, like I did, it was a game that I'd heard of being so good. And so I really wanted to try it for myself. Maybe somebody else is going to do that. Maybe other people will do that. And maybe GGG don't really care about that. But you know what? I do, and I think other gamers do too. And I think, I could have this wrong, but I think most people would rather be able to at least play a version of the game at any time, rather than having a situation where you can't even log onto the game at all when the servers go down. It's the way I feel about it. And as somebody who is still very new to Path of Exile and still new to ARPGs, I want to enjoy these games. But if there's going to be a constant threat of disconnects and disconnects and disconnects, then I'm sorry, I don't want to play. I'll go play Last Epoch. But I want to play Path of Exile. That's the problem. So, yeah. Give us an offline mode, please, GGG. I'll suck your dick.